Now, the Trump administration is pulling 700 federal officers from Minnesota, but immigration crackdown and mass deportations in the state would not stop.
Well, the move comes as U.S. President suggested that a softer touch may now be needed on immigration. The fatal shootings of two people by federal officers in Minneapolis had sparked widespread outrage. Talking to NBC News, Trump admitted the need for a softer touch, but then added that they are dealing with criminals.
The supreme leader in Iran be worried right now?
I would say he should be very worried, yeah. He should be. As you know, they're negotiating with us.
I know they are, but the protesters have said, you know, where are the Americans? You promised them we would have their back. Do we still have their back?
We've had their back. And look, that country's a mess right now because of us. We went in, we wiped out their nuclear.
So that's the question. If we want them out,
peace in the Middle East.
Trump's border chief, Tom Homan, had earlier announced that 700 officers, federal officers that is, would be withdrawn from Minnesota. He also clarified that 2,000 agents will still remain in the state. It was in another interview that he pledged that removals of undocumented migrants would continue as well.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey welcomed the reduction in federal personnel, but said that the immigration operation in Minneapolis must end immediately. The White House says more than 4,000 people have arrested under the Operation Metro Surge in Minnesota so far.
State Governor took a similar stance, calling for faster and larger drawdown of forces. He also called for state-led investigations into the killing of the two Minneapolis protesters.
Democratic lawmakers also called for dramatic changes at the Department of Homeland Security as they continue their negotiations over the bill to fund the department. The Senate's top Democrat, Chuck Schumer, said that the party is also demanding the end of roving patrols, independent oversight by state and local governments, and no secret police. And there's more on this from our colleague Susan, who sends us this report from New York.
Border Czar Tom Homan says the Trump administration is pulling 700 federal law enforcement personnel out of Minneapolis, citing what he calls unprecedented cooperation from local officials. That brings the federal presence down to about 2,000 agents, with a long-term goal of returning to the pre-surge level of roughly about 150. Now, Homan says that the drawdown was made possible by improved cooperation between local jails and immigration and customs enforcement and a safer operating environment. He stressed that any further reduction would depend on continued cooperation and an end to what he called hostile activity toward officers. Federal agents tied to an ongoing benefit fraud investigation in Minnesota will remain in place. Homan also confirmed that body cameras will soon be made mandatory for all field agents in the city, a move backed not only by Kristi Noem, but also President Donald Trump, as tensions ease following weeks of protests in Minneapolis. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World as One.